Okay then guys, when it comes down to images of where food comes from, there can't be any that are more instantly recognisable than the rice paddy fields of the Far East. Rice is the most consumed grain in the world, so why do some websites make such a song and dance about the different ways of cooking it? Such conflicting methods. Let me explain, and I'll show you my method of doing the stovetop boiled rice and boiled rice in a rice cooker. Just a quick search of the internet on how to cook boiled rice. It produces hundreds of results, and of course they all claim to be perfect. No one's going to say it's the worst, are they? Here's a few of the conflicting things they say. Add 1 lot of water to 1 lot of rice. Add 2 lots of water to 1 lot of rice. Always rinse the rice, never rinse the rice. Stir the rice, never stir the rice. You must add salt, never add salt. Add butter. Never heard that one before. Cover the pan and leave it alone for 20 minutes. Lift the lid after 10 minutes and stir. Keep boiling rapidly with the lid off and top up with fresh water. Simmer gently, stirring every few minutes. Turn the heat off and let it steam. Boil rapidly and let it steam. Rinse the cooked rice in cold water and reheat it. Here's a chart I made up of celebrity chefs, cooking books and Asian websites' versions of doing the boiled rice. Interesting to note yet again that the celebrity chefs have tried to make it their own by adding some quite strange things really. Jamie Oliver boils his, then tips the rice out, sticks it in a colander and puts it back over the heat again. Gordon Ramsay adds cardamom, star anise and pepper. Delia Smith cooks hers in oil with water. Anyway, all down the side there, the amount of rice per person, do they use salt or not, do they rinse it? You can read it yourselves, I'm not going to go through every one of these. But the one I am doing for you today is the Kwoklyn Wan method, which I found to be quite good, especially if you don't have pans with glass lids. Okay, then I'm using this Thai fragrant rice for the boiled rice today. It's called boiled rice, but it's also called steamed rice because it does a bit of both. I'll explain in a minute. This is just another type of jasmine rice, really. Okay, so I'm measuring out my rice, 2 half cups, what makes 1 cup. I usually make too much because I do like to have a nice fried rice the following day. And also by doing the 1 cup of rice today, it shows you at the end just how much you get for 1 cup. Now, we need to rinse this. I know some sites say don't rinse it, but watch this. In with your fingers, stir it around a bit. Why you would not want to get rid of all that cloudy starch, I don't know. Your rice would just stick together in one big ball, even if you don't want sticky rice. I mean, look at that. So pour the water away, rinse it twice more, and it ends up like this. Pour the last rinsing away and level the rice off with the back of your hand, get it nice and flat, and it's time to add the water. Touch your index finger onto the top of the rice and pour the water in up to your first knuckle. Some sites say 25 millimetres. That's your first knuckle. And like I said, from my chart, I'm using the Kwoklyn Wan method. And what he does is boil the rice, lid off, until small craters appear in the rice with virtually no water above the rice. Get in there. Just about there. And there's the craters appearing. The rice is a little bit damp. Time to start the timer for 3 minutes. Lid on. Heat down to very low, the lowest your cooker can go. Leave the lid on for 3 minutes. Don't touch anything. After 3 minutes, off the heat, leave the lid on and let it sit for another 10 minutes. And this is what I meant earlier on about calling it steamed rice. As the last bit of water is getting absorbed, it is steaming at the same time. And here we are, 10 minutes later. Give it a quick fluffing up just to loosen the grains a little bit. You can leave it for a bit like this if you want, let some of the steam come off. I wanted to get this measured out to show you how much there was. So that 1 cup of dried rice from the start made 3 bowls of boiled or steamed rice at the end. Quick taste test, it's got to be done, hasn't it? And what can you say about boiled rice? Nice and light and fluffy, not too sticky. Tasty. It always is jasmine rice, very nice taste. Proper job. Okay then, for the second lot of boiled rice, we're going to be using my Yum Asia Kumu rice cooker. Handy bit of kit this one. Comes with a little rice spoon and a dry rice scoop, measuring cup, and like a steamer basket, which is very good. And I'll show you this at the end. It's for low carbohydrate rice. I'll show you at the end. And the cooking bowl has got the graduations on the side to show you how much water to put in. Much the same process as before, really. Measure out 1 cup of rice into the bowl, add the water and rinse it 3 times. When you finish rinsing, add the cooking water up to the desired level. In my case, it was 1 cup of long grain rice. There we are. Down with the lid, turn it on and let the machine do its magic. I selected long grain rice, and once it starts going round and round in circles, you know it started cooking. One thing I like about this cooker is when it gets to 10 minutes to go towards the end, it starts a countdown timer. Here it is at 7 minutes going on to 6. It gives you time to get the rest of your food prepared. And once we've gone past the 10 minutes, it goes on to a keep warm function. So we're 1 minute past now, so it's been keeping warm for a minute. And it can keep warm for up to 24 hours. I've used it for 8 hours before now, and you wouldn't know the difference. Just like freshly cooked rice. Lift the lid, let the steam escape so you don't scald yourself. Fluff the rice up and serve up. Now what I'm doing with this one, I'm going to put the rice back in and put it on the keep warm function because I'll be using this later on in the evening. And there we are, perfect boiled rice. And the great thing about the rice cooker, there's no need to keep your eye on it. And the keep warm function, as I said, will keep the rice perfectly fresh for up to 24 hours. No more burnt rice on the stovetop. If you've ever had burnt rice, you'll know what I mean. Okay then, just before we pack up, as I promised, the Yum carb function. Basically the same. The water sits in the cooking pot, that's the blue bit there, look. But the rice sits in the yellow strainer part above it. So the cooker starts off preheating, it boils it, and as the rice absorbs the water level drops a bit. So now the water is below the rice and it's steaming. And when it gets to the keep warm phase, there's a little bit of water there to keep it warm. Now the thing about this is the water drains off the rice, takes a lot of the carbs with it. They reckon about 25% less carbs than normal rice. I mentioned this to the diabetes nurse. She said, what a load of rubbish. I mentioned it to another diabetes nurse. She said, yes, it's a fantastic bit of kit. So you can't win, can you? Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. More dishes to come. Catch you on the next recipe.